to create this community has been long-standing within the Public Health Association. And we're so grateful to the many practitioners and professionals who have paved the way for us to be here today. Next slide. So here is a look at all the people who make the phenomenal work that we do as a section possible. This group is consistent of our leadership team, which includes myself as chair, Maurice Johnson as co-chair, Brian Buckley as our immediate past chair, but it also is composite of our governing counselors, and those are the individuals that are responsible for really advocating on our behalf the policies that we wish to endorse as a section, and also voices those concerns to our general body, who then in turn advocates that on behalf of the organization. We also have our section counselors that really serve as an advisement to our group to ensure that the activities and services that we're providing not only to the section members and community are representative of who we are as a section, and it aligns to our mission and our vision. We also have our various working committees, whether there is our Day of Action, which we'll learn more about, our membership engagement, coaching and collaboration, our working groups, justice and incarcerated health, gun violence prevention, even down to the remarkable job that our team does with social media. Again, we are a very diverse group that are absolutely committed to the mission and the vision of this section. Next slide. So here are a few of the accomplishments of our section against our various committees throughout the year. Starting in January, we had a town hall meeting. We had an opportunity to engage our membership and actually obtain feedback on what the section wanted to see as far as goals for this year. We were able to debut a strategic plan that our leadership team had an opportunity to put together in terms of some of the action steps and activities they wanted to present for the year, and had an opportunity for our section members to review it and provide feedback on. Part of that strategic plan, we have identified 3 areas from which we're going to work from. One, we want to ensure that we support a diverse public health workforce. The grounding in that work is based on our student memberships, and we do a very, very remarkable job of making sure that we mentor and nurture our students that are coming through school, through this section, through scholarship opportunities and other activities that we have throughout the year that they can support. Next, we want to advance health in all policies. So again, that speaks to the remarkable work that our action board leader does with our action board, and that's our advocacy arm. So this person is actually responsible for, one, bringing back the overarching goals of action board, which is the advocacy concerns of the organization and engaging the local membership to build relationships with their legislators and really advocate on behalf of the organization the issues that are important to us. And last, we want to ensure responsible stewardship. We want to make sure that your donations, your time, and your efforts are put to good use. And so again, we can certainly showcase that through our scholarship efforts, our awards where we highlight members for their phenomenal work in the community, our membership engagement activities. There's so much more that we do, and you all will get an opportunity to see many of that throughout these next 2 days. And I'm so excited to be able to lead this amazing group of people in such important work for such an important time. Next slide. In terms of membership engagement, as I stated earlier, we have a very active student committee who meets regularly at the leadership of Ms. Deja Knight. If you are a student and you're interested in learning more about the activities of the committee, she can be reached at dknight12@jhmi.edu. This year, we had the privilege of putting together an abstract writing workshop, and that workshop really provided some deep insight for those who are interested in writing abstracts, not only for our section, but for other sections within the association, on best practices on how to make your proposal top notch so that you would be able to present at the annual meeting. We also introduced our public health cast, which is a podcast that was designed by our coaching and collaboration, as well as our membership committee, to bring the issues that are really important to us as a section to a public landscape. So far, we've had the privilege of interviewing the executive director for APHA, Dr. Georges Benjamin, and our moderator for that was none other than our immediate past president, Dr. Brian Buckley. We also do several surveys throughout the year to receive feedback from our members. This year, we did a membership inquiry in January. We also did one regarding this mid-year meeting in May. And so we plan to disseminate a third survey within the fall as we move closer to the annual meeting. So please stay tuned for more information on that. Next slide. We are also big participants in National Public Health Week. This year, National Public Health Week was held on April 5th through 11th, 2021. And all of the activities were led by our student committee. We had a great presence on social media. Some of the activities that we had during the week includes an online discussion on anti-racism. Our Health Communications Matter webinar did a session, a very informative session on COVID-19 and its response as it relates to communication. We also had a robust conversation on climate justice. We did a fireside chat talking about how we can build resilience to COVID-19. We also did a virtual workshop where we put together love notes for our seniors, which we all know during this pandemic, they have been the most separated and segregated population in terms of, getting a little emotional because I think about my own personal experience, but in terms of quarantine, our seniors have really, really suffered during this pandemic. So my heart was so overjoyed that we had an opportunity to send notes to seniors that were sent out to senior centers throughout the country, just to give folks a little note to let them know that we love and we're thinking about them. And then last, we did a town hall on COVID-19 vaccinations. As you know, the vaccine has become a prominent topic of conversation, especially with engagement and access. So I was extremely proud that we were at a critical mass where we can have a very open and transparent conversation about what vaccinations meant to you personally and how we as a section advocated for or not access to vaccines. Next slide. So in terms of our broader APHA activities, again, we have our action board, which really serves as our advocacy component of the section. Our action board this year has focused on COVID-19 and the broader recognition of the role and importance of public health in the workforce during this time. We've been very strong advocates of health equity, increasing environmental health funding, the American Families Plan, workplace violence, and gun violence. On our policy end, over 20 proposed policy statements were organized across 4 topics in the areas of prevention, access to care equity, environmental and built space, and human rights education. Next slide. Finally, we'll get to our fundraising. This is the heart of our section. We have a very dedicated chair and committee who does a phenomenal job of curating activities geared towards our fundraising efforts to send our students and professionals to the annual meeting this year. We have a dedicated enrichment fund that is specifically designed for scholarships. In 2020, we provided over $4,000 in scholarships to 11 recipients, nearly $1,200 in scholarships for 18 members to attend our Policy Summit Institute, which is an organizational in 2021, and we are currently reviewing applications for our 2021 annual meeting scholarships. We always welcome donations to help build our scholarship fund. This year, we have a fundraising goal ask of section members to donate $20.21 to help us reach our fundraising goal of $21,000 this year. And again, this means so much, particularly to our students who may not have the budget to attend the annual meeting, but I can say that those who have been recipients of the scholarship fund, which I can probably say that I have been during my time at the annual meeting, it has been such a blessing to be able to get to our annual meeting, particularly when they're on the West Coast. So again, for our upcoming meeting in Denver, we have the option both to attend virtual and in person. I would like to personally encourage you, if you are able to contribute to the scholarship fund, please do. Our students, our early career professionals, thank you so much for your contributions.
And I just want to add that that QR code on the screen right now would give is a direct link to our enrichment fund page.
Thank you. Next slide. We also have an opportunity during our annual meeting to recognize CHPPD members who make valuable contributions to their local community. And this is our awards and recognitions program. We are currently accepting nominations for two of our most prestigious awards. One is the Hemrick L. Bloom Award for Excellence in Health Planning, and our second is our Vision Award for Excellence in Health Policy. The nominations are due by August 15th. Last year, we had the privilege of recognizing Dr. Ebony Johnson, who is a community health manager at the Johnson County Public Health Department, for our Bloom Award, and Dr. Megan Cermak, manager of community health and population health strategy, Central Health, for our Vision Award. If you know anyone or yourself that you would like to recommend for these awards, we highly encourage you to do so. And if you would like more details, please provide that information in the chat, and our Zoom monitors will be able to provide you with that information on how you may submit a nomination form. Next slide. Before we move forward, I'd like to take a moment to thank our mid-year planning committee, who, again, as Maurice stated, worked so very hard to put this together as a request for me. I really felt it was important for us as a section to have more opportunities to engage with one another. And this is our first mid-year meeting. So again, you all are a part of history, and it would not be possible without the following individuals: Raga Aragari, Dr. Brian Buckley, Tameta Kamzart, Caitlin Esposito, Josephina Frankovich, Christine Ivory, Maurice Johnson Jr., Deja Knight, and Whitney Rogers. I want to personally thank you so much for your time and dedication in planning and organizing these events. You all deserve a round of applause. Next, we're going to talk about our annual meeting, which will be held in Denver, October 24th through the 27th. We're really excited about this year because we have the opportunity to meet in a hybrid space. So that means that anyone who decides that they want to attend the annual meeting, you'll have the opportunity to meet either in person or in virtual. We are planning activities for both. Part of what we have done as a tradition that we're going to continue is our virtual happy hour, which is an opportunity for us to connect socially via Zoom to connect to our broader membership base. We're also going to provide an opportunity for folks who are attending the meeting in person to meet for coffee as a networking opportunity. This year, our business meeting and our social will be held virtually, as well as our awards recognition program. Our poster sessions will be virtual. However, our CHPPD oral sessions will be held both live in person, and you will also have an opportunity to participate in those sessions virtually. We plan to have our Day of Action event. Our Day of Action event is a day that we give back to the local community in every market that we attend our convention. It is the culmination of all of our events at the annual meeting. I'm always excited to be in Denver because I think Denver is an amazing place. The last time we were in Denver, we had a phenomenal Day of Action event around the built environment. This year, we will be planning a Day of Action event that is going to be focused on racism, and I'm so excited to provide you all with more information on that. If you are interested in our Day of Action event, Whitney has just placed in the chat our chair for that event, which is Dr. Amy Carroll Scott. And she has been a leader and actually the curator of our Day of Action event. She's a wealth of knowledge and such a joy to work with. And so we ask that you please stay tuned as we finalize our events for the annual meeting. We'll be providing more details on that. And we do hope that you can join us in Denver, either in person or virtually. Also to note, in our chat, we have put some information that if you are interested in serving as a moderator for any of our scientific sessions, whether in person or virtual, to reach out to our program chairs, which is Dr. Shannon Nix and Dr. Kristen Schuler, and that information is provided in the chat for you. Next slide. Now I will pause to provide an opportunity for you all to ask myself or any of our leadership team any questions or answers. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor back over to Maurice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ebony. And so, yeah, this is now a chance for folks to ask the chair any questions you may have, or anyone on the leadership team, any questions or thoughts you may have for our section, or provide some thoughts or ideas for where you'd like to see the section go in the future, or activities you'd like us to engage in. And so this is just an open forum for the next few minutes. So feel free to take advantage. And let's see if folks are being gun shy. So sorry, being shy. I'm trying to stop saying gun shy. I'm just gonna go ahead and volunteer. I'm gonna go ahead and volunteer Brian Buckley as our past chair to share a few words. And I'm sure he's just like, why are you putting me on the floor? And maybe he's not even there, but if he is there, I'm gonna ask Brian to share some words if he can. Yeah, he may have stepped away. As I know he had what is the best way to be aware of opportunities to engage? So I would say one of the primary ways is to pay attention to our, we do share emails on our CHPPD listserv, which is managed through our Connect. And I know that some people have challenges with Connect, but we do try to keep folks aware of all of our activities and events on there. And then Whitney, do you mind sharing some thoughts on the social media platform and how we share?
Yeah, so I'm the social media chair, and so I'm the one who's posting all the annoying pictures online. So online, what we really use that for is for visual content too. And then also our LinkedIn. So on social media, such as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, we try to alert you guys as much as we possibly can about what's coming up as soon as we can. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay in that, depending on what we're able to get to first and create visuals for. And then LinkedIn is actually a really interesting format that we've kind of engaged with recently, is that if you have anything to share, either being a job or you're working on a project or your community project has been posted online, you want to share it on LinkedIn, that's a good way to share it. So those are the kind of different options on social media, is to catch up with what we're doing or what we have planned, what we like on social media, because sometimes we'll retweet you, or if you have something to share, that's definitely a way to connect us. And earlier in the chat, I posted our handles, so if you want to go look at those. The Facebook handle is the CHPPD section _ APHA. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Yeah. And our LinkedIn's a group, and so is Facebook, so they look a little bit different online. So if you're Googling for the LinkedIn or the Facebook group, you sometimes can use the group tab at the top of the website.
Let's see. If there are no thoughts, this might be an opportunity, Allison, to get the questions that we had planned to do right before your session, to do them now, and then we could then let that lead into a break after. Natalie asks, do the different sections of APHA interact with one another outside of the annual meeting? I'll give that to Ebony.
Absolutely. So as a leadership team, being the chair-elect, and the past, immediate past chair, we sit in a consortium called the Intersectional Council, which is comprised of all chairs, chair-elects, and immediate past chairs. And that really gives us an opportunity, one, to engage with one another as leaders, but also to share information on activities that are happening across our affinity groups. So we, in that Intersectional Council, we also get information from our Council of Affiliates, which are comprised from our state associations and other industry-specific associations that align themselves with APHA. So if there is ever any information that you want to know that's happening across a different section, you can always reach out to us through APHA Connect and send us a direct message there, and we can link you with the appropriate person across our different affinity groups. You're welcome.
Any other questions before we jump to this another quick poll that we'll do, and this will help us save more time for our speakers in the next session. I'm going to go ahead and load them. So again, we're going to engage the E2 polls. Allison shared the website and code on the in the chat, but also feel free, if you have your phone, to participate using the QR code and logging back in. And I'm going to stop sharing, Allison, and allow you to take lead. Are you there, Allison? If you are speaking or if you are sharing, we're not seeing anything on our end. And maybe she had to step away. And so if that is the case, we will have our break early and engage the poll.
I'm here. I'm just struggling to find the share screen. Let's see. Just give me 1 second. I've got too many tabs open with all the action board, and there we go. So now I should be able to share, and we do have responses coming in. And can you all see that now? Are you seeing the screen, Brian?
I see it.
Oh, cool.
It's a very interesting response. I was expecting a lot of, I do this all the time. So when I was creating this poll, I was thinking of how I interact with like government calls and the public health, Speak for Health campaign that we do with APHA, and how I respond to change.org and all the different types of survey machines that kind of are just flooding our inboxes nowadays. It seems like since COVID's happened, I can't go to City Hall because it's still virtual only. So, you know, the in-person interaction with I live in city of Dallas, Texas. My interaction with City Hall really has to be physical in order for things to get done. So it's all been online, and I just kind of feel a little neutral about how I can approach the bench or approach my legislators since it's all online. So I was just really curious to see how you guys felt in response to how you interact with your local leaders and policymakers. So very interesting. Thank you for responding to that.
And then there is a second poll for the second part of our Voices activity. So piggybacking on how comfortable you feel related to climate change, how comfortable do you feel raising criminal legal health policies and practices that impact minority health disparities and incarceration practices while you're engaging in community health planning, policy development, and the other great work that you do every day? And I am the one who does this all the time so far. Guilty as charged.
What, is that a play on words?
Who, me?
What I'm seeing right now is that everyone's kind of in the middle, either somewhat comfortable, neutral, or very comfortable. So I think it's a pretty healthy distribution right there.
Agreed. So we are going to, we are right on time, which is amazing. You know, that just speaks to the great work of this planning committee. So thank you all. We are going to take a 10-minute break. And so we ask that you just go on mute and just step away. Don't sign off and sign back on. Sometimes that causes some challenges. So you'll lose all the stuff that's happened in the chat. And so if you can just stay on, and we will reconvene in 10 minutes. During that time, there'll be a running slideshow of historical facts of the section. If you are so interested and don't want to go take a break, but just want to keep looking at the screen, that'll be on here as well. Thank you.
That might come in later. Might come in handy later in the meeting if you
exactly
take good notes.
All right, I'm going to pause my audio and video, and the other screen should pop up soon.